WAPL Mornings with Laura Lee and Cutter.
Green Bay. Cool.
So as you get ready, Jeff Platt from Trans-Siberian Orchestra to kick off another season of Trans-Siberian Orchestra touring in our town of Green Bay, Wisconsin, with two shows at the Resch Center. It's good to see you, my friend.
Yeah.
Good morning. Yeah, good to see you guys.
Awesome. Okay. Laura and I were talking off the air because she's not seen you yet.
No,
Now,
I mean, all the CDs every Christmas morning is TSO in the house.
absolutely has to be.
But I'm looking forward to
Prerequisite these
yes,
days.
always on the CD player, but never in real life. That's changing this year. Obviously, November 13th. You have two shows. You guys play multiple shows in a day. How do you keep the energy up? Is it 5-hour energy? Is it sacrificial lambs? Like, what are you doing to keep the energy for two shows?
We've been running at this pace for close to 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been this type of schedule. In general, we play 8 shows in 5 days every week.
Whew.
Now, obviously, we're starting the tour in Green Bay on a Thursday. We do 2 shows that day.
Mm-hmm.
But normally it's a single show every Wednesday and Thursday, double shows every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So an interesting problem is to have more show dates than days to do them. And this is where the multiple show days came in. I get asked this question all the time because I'm the drummer in the band. I have a very physical job, but there are plenty of spots in the show where I get a breather, so to speak, with the
Okay, yeah.
storytelling, with the introductions, with the acoustic song. I'm not playing full on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. But having said that, come Sunday night, I'm ready for a break. So it's all good.
Yeah, not only are you a beastly drummer at that. Like, here's the thing about Trans-Siberian Orchestra that I'll never ever get over, and that I love so much because I loved Savatage. I was a teenager who loved Savatage, and to then go into and I loved the history of music and heavy metal specifically, and to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra start, but not only start but become this sort of, everybody's cool with it. Everybody's okay with it. If you're a rock fan, if you're a gospel fan, you can go to a TSO show and enjoy it. And it's incredible to know, some of the players obviously involved, some of the musicians involved, and some of the bands that you guys have come from.
Mhm.
Like Al, even I had to tell my mom, I took my parents to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and they're in their 80s. And I'm like, Mom, that guy was in Megadeth, and talking about Al, of course. And like no way, That's what I love about Trans-Siberian Orchestra is that,
Your parents are hip to Megadeth?
Only because I had posters on my wall.
Hey, not only did he play in Megadeth, he played with Michael Bolton, so I
Right?
mean everything is all over the map as far as
And
the cast.
Jeff, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the definition of heavy metal is Michael Bolton.
Well, it has to start somewhere, right? So things have progressed over the years. Hey,
Absolutely.
you can't fault that man. He's had a great career, so it's all good.
The putting all of that together into the music that you guys do. I mean, how much are you thinking about, okay, we need to have that kind of kick-ass heavy metal style guitar solo here, but then we're going to have this beautiful introspection piece here. How much really goes into the music and the show at the same time? I feel like you have to be planning this for months and months and months in advance.
Sure. I mean, honestly, the management team and production are probably thinking about next year already. We haven't even played our first show, and they're probably looking at the design of this year, going, okay, next year I think we're going to try this and that. Hey, this is all the vision of Paul O'Neill.
Right.
You mentioned something earlier about the variety, the variation in the musical genres that we present, and how, we cover everything. And this was Paul's, I want to say plan, but this was his vision. He wanted to create something that was going to be for everybody. And the man struck gold with all this. I mean, he honestly achieved what he set out to do. Along with that, he wanted to be able to just create this emotional event for people to come and kind of lose themselves for 2.5 hours in the arena with this show. The guitar solos, the song arrangements, the look of the show, the rhythm of the show is all Paul. From the very first time that we played in 1999, which it was 7 shows. We had one box truck and a couple dozen lights and a fog machine.
Wow.
You know, once we realized, wow, this thing is going to work live, Paul just put all his energy and his thought into how do we keep building this show.
Mm.
But when you ask the question about, how do we place this and that, it's all him, man. I mean, he really designed the shows around the albums and the stories that we present on any given year. But there is a certain flow and an emotion to these shows that just captivate people. And here again, it was all Paul's vision.
You said a box truck and some lights and a fog machine. Now what's it up to?
Right.
17 semis and 2
20.
touring bands and 20 semis. Sorry.
Yeah.
And 2 different touring bands that go across the country, and it's absolutely insanity.
Yep. Yep. When you mentioned the schedule, I mean, this was the thing. The very first tour, if you want to call it a tour, it was 1999. We only did 7 shows. And
Mhm.
that was just to kind of break the ice and see, is this thing going to work? The following year, we had offers for 70 shows.
Wow.
So we were still trying to do this
Oh, right
tour
away.
between Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve. So there was really only like a 4-week window that we were initially going to tour in. And it was at that time that Paul and his team decided, well, let's take the original cast, which you mentioned Savatage. Really, the Savatage band is the original TSO. So
Right.
let's take this original group of guys and split them in 2, and we'll fill out the cast accordingly, all the other musicians and vocalists. And so we've been running with 2 bands ever since the year 2000. Now, every year, all of a sudden, it just got more popular and more popular and more popular. More shows were being added. We had to add more time onto the tour. And we finally reached this limit where, we are a holiday themed tour. It's a winter
Mm.
tour, it's a holiday tour, however you want to frame that. So it's not like we can start in the middle of September or October and run until mid-January or something like that. We still have a window of time to do this. But the schedule right around the year 2004, 2005, when the song Wizards in Winter became a hit,
Hmm.
everything just kind of blew up. All of a sudden, we're doing these major arenas twice a day and selling them out. I remember my head was spinning. I couldn't believe what was happening. All of a sudden we're doing what? Wow, this is amazing. So it's been at this pace, like I said, for close to 20 years, over 20 years really, and it's still growing today. It's amazing, man. It really
Amazing.
is.
Jeff Lay from Trans-Siberian Orchestra joining us this morning. Of course, Thursday. No, Wednesday. What was the day? It's November 13th.
I think that's a Thursday.
Okay.
I'm
Thursday
pretty
this year. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Thursday.
making sure. It's funny because the last time I went and saw TSO was 2 years ago,
Hmm.
and I brought my now wife and my kids, and we went and saw the show, and it was like 70 degrees outside that day. And I'm like, this is the weirdest time to go see a TSO show. The year before I'd gone and seen it, and it was 30 and snowing. So like you just never know in Wisconsin, you know?
I feel like TSO could just easily fit into that whole Mariah Carey meme, where you hear people start to go, oh, Mariah Carey starts to thaw out, because she's got the popular Christmas song, but so does TSO starts to like make their way into the holiday traditions with
Uh,
families, because like I said, we grew up listening to it. Now my brother has kids, and so now
Yeah.
when Christmas morning comes around, he puts on TSO on the CD player, and they open up presents to a Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Now, obviously, you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't enjoy it and love it and everything. But are there still certain songs that you really enjoy playing? I mean, you enjoy it, but are there any songs that really get still give you goosebumps when you play them?
Yeah, I mean, we've got some really cool instrumental songs that are a
Mhm.
lot of fun to play. The song Beethoven is a lot of fun. Madness of Men is really fun. On the flip side of that, there's a song like Ornament, which is, a heartfelt ballad. Got a personal connection with me. And
Mm.
so it's all over the map. All of this music is really, really fun to play and means a lot. Paul's lyrics and Paul's stories really, they not just speak to the audience, but they also speak to me. I grew up with, listening to all different types of music. And here again, when Paul put this thing together, he really tried to cover everything. But the main thing he did was he wrote some lyrics and some stories that once you go through life, you realize, wow, this man is not only talking to these people in front of me, but he's talking to me too. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a lot of that personally connects. But I get asked this question all the time. Christmas Eve, Sarajevo 1224 is still the most exciting song to play in the show.
Okay.
It's that song is 30 years old. It's been the driving force behind TSO and what we do, but it just electrifies the room every time we play it. For the casual or for the newcomer who has never seen us before or really never heard us before, I can kind of see them in the audience. I can tell just by the look on their face because at first they have no idea what's going on. What do you mean holiday show? Oh my God, there's lasers there. It's amazing when we hit that song, you can tell everybody recognizes that. And when we get done with a song, it's always an ovation. We play the song twice a show. It gets the same response every time. It's
Yeah.
just unbelievable. I kind of jokingly tried to figure out how many times I played that song. It's got to be like 3,500 or something,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
it's a lot. But I love doing it every time.
Now, that song was originally on Dead Winter Dead or Savatage, right?
Correct. Correct.
There's
Yeah.
there's your rock and roll fun fact.
Yeah.
I remember uh, I joined Savatage in 1994.
Hmm.
So when we went into the studio to do the Dead Winter Dead record, Paul had the story surrounding the war that was going on in Bosnia, and this, part of the story was this gentleman that was literally playing his cello in the middle of the rubble
Mm.
throughout the day, just mourning the loss of his city and friends and everything. There was a lot of conversation on whether this instrumental Christmas song should be on this Savatage record, and I was the new guy, so I just
Right.
stood at the back of the room and watched and listened. But there was never any question that when you heard the final version of that song, it's like, wow, this is awesome. This really is something else. Should it be on the Savatage record? Should it be something else, et cetera, et cetera? Well, it made it on the album. It fit perfectly in the album, but it also just took off in a completely different direction than what the band was at the time. And here again, that was the vehicle for Paul to actually create Trans-Siberian Orchestra. And here we are 30 years later. It's amazing.
Is there any chance of new Trans-Siberian Orchestra music and stories coming? And you guys are celebrating some anniversary stuff this year, right?
We are
No.
celebrating the 25th
That's
anniversary
fine.
of Beethoven's Last Night,
Yep.
which was the first non-seasonal record that we did with TSO, that Paul wrote for
Hmm.
TSO. As far as new music, and I mean, we lost Paul in 2017. It really threw a wrench into everything, everything. Um, will there be new music? Let's hope so. Let's hope
Okay.
so.
Mhm.
Okay.
Paul was always writing. There was always ideas floating around, but there's a lot around that. Um, Obviously, these tours take up a lot of time throughout the year to prepare for, to
Right.
arrange for, and now we've actually Savatage has been able to go out and perform again, which is it adds more to
Awesome.
that plate, so to speak, no pun intended. Um, but yeah, we got a busy couple of years coming up ahead of us with Savatage, but add the TSO tour into all that, we've always got something going on. But new music, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Okay. Awesome. Either way, it's an amazing show to see Trans-Siberian Orchestra again live on Thursday at Rush Center in Green Bay.
Three times.
It's what's that?
2 times, 2:30, 7:30.
Yeah, early show or late
Both.
show, which is awesome because there's morning show people. We'll be at the early show.
I know. I was
Um,
looking. There's actually a couple really good seats for the 2:30. So
There you go.
yeah.
Perfect. And let's really quick, Jeff, before we let you go, there's a charity component to a Trans-Siberian Orchestra tour. There's always a charity component to it. And Jeff, if you can expand on that a little.
Yep, yep. So this was another thing that Paul initiated from the very first ticket that we sold. $1 per ticket was going to go to a local charity. And his thought, first of all, thank you to the communities and cities that let us come in here and do what we do. it's such a win-win situation. Everybody in the audience is contributing to helping somebody in their community, maybe somebody that they know. To date, we've donated close to, if not over, $21 million across the
Whoa.
country to a slew of different charities.
Mhm.
Last year when we hit the $20 million mark, that's when it really kind of hit me. It's like, wow, that's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty significant. And hey, the holidays are really festive for a lot of people and they can be tough for a lot of others. And this was just a simple act on our end to help some people get through this time of year, maybe, help them get back on their feet again. So, hey, it's something we're all very, very proud of. And like I said, Paul was one of the most generous people you were ever going to meet. And he felt that this was just the right thing to do. And honestly, it was, it is, it will continue to be, and we're all very proud of it.
It's amazing. And the fact that it's local charities at that, that
Yep.
money goes right back into the community you guys are playing in. It means the world to the community. It means the world to us. So thank you for doing that. And
Yep.
and as far as Paul goes, this is the thing. Like I got to interview Paul a handful of times. I used to run a syndicated classic metal show, and he was on it. And then obviously I would do a Christmas metal version. You know what I mean? So then plenty of opportunity to talk TSO. So when he passed away, it hit us hard.
Yeah. There
So
was
I can't
no,
believe it's
no,
been that long already.
yeah, there was no bigger fan of TSO than Paul.
Yeah.
He had this insane energy and commitment to this project. It meant so much to him, but he knew that it meant a lot to a lot of other people. And then once the thing finally broke, I mean, honestly, once we started touring in '99 and people were actually able to come sit in the venue and watch us perform it and take in the show and the stories and the lyrics, man, he just nailed it. It was just such a fantastic idea. And hey, I've been here from the very beginning. I'm very, very thankful, very lucky, and very proud to be part of this legacy.
There you go. Jeff Plate, Trans-Siberian Orchestra for almost 30 years, making it a Christmas tradition. Jeff, thank you so much
Thank
for your
you.
time, man.
You
Truly
got it.
appreciate it, and can't wait to see the show again.
Take care. We'll see you soon.